We are no longer physicians. We're providers.
Ask your baby's permission.
Gay people, you have become a product. Should auto insurance cover STD? Are you freaking kidding me? So you demean us. You don't get a parade for a sexual preference. To not hurt the feelings of somebody with a fraction of my training. That a beaver's ass presented this to the world. It's a natural flavor. But you are literally an ice cube in a martini shaker.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to BS Free MD, Tales with Cocktails episode. And welcome back, Tim, to Florida after your 2-week vacation hiatus. Missing all the excitement here. And
I created plenty of excitement.
Creating your own excitement.
Excitement. Yeah, we might share a little bit of that, or we might save it for another episode. I don't know. I was on my annual kiteboarding trip to the north. What do they call that? The Outer Banks of North Carolina, the OBX, as it were. What's wrong with your mic?
Just trying to fix it.
If you tighten that too much, it doesn't work anymore. I stripped mine. My mic is a stripper. The little nut is stripped. There you go.
Keep talking.
All right. Wow, we have some quite interesting medical stories for you today. Kind of centers around fake doctors doing bad things to people. Apparently, if you're a fake surgeon, it's not you get a fake result. You just die.
Sounds like Dr. Death.
Kind of. Also, I found a very new kind of racing. I always said to my sister, my sister got into F1, and I said, look, I like all kinds of racing. You give me a couple fat guys, a couple walkers, I'd probably watch it because I like racing. This new race, not so sure about.
Is that the link I sent you, the beach?
No, this is
racing
different.
On the beach?
This is different. Much different. And then we found in the deep woods, or I think it's in Western Australia, we found a teacher that identifies as a cat. And yes, they're still gainfully employed. Unsure how that works.
I thought you were going to say that was in Oregon. But I have a surprise for everybody, too, because there is a really good story going on in Oregon, as usual. With an amazing... it's all about family. Let's just leave it at that.
Twist. Yes, and the personal connection.
That's right.
Oh boy. What do you want to start with, Maze? I think I want to start with the this one right here, which is
dear.
The fake doctor right here. Let's put that one up. Woman lost entire nipple after surgery by unlicensed doctor in Little Havana, which is in Miami. Cops say it's the same facility another accused unlicensed doctor worked from. And this is April of 2025. So
my first question is, knowing how hard it was to get a license in Florida, after we did applications, I applied and then you applied, and the grueling Seinfeld-like episode of sitting in the boardroom having to go before the medical board and review your past history, especially we did, because we didn't do any training in the U.S. We're board certified, but we didn't do our med school here, residency, even though we worked in Oregon for 30 years and we're American Academy of Family Practice board certified. Florida still didn't like it. Anyway, we had to sit in this hotel conference room and listen to everybody's dirty little stories to try to get a medical license. So I'm wondering how this unlicensed doctor is practicing in Miami.
Because he's unlicensed.
So he just started like a pop shop medicine kind of a thing?
Yes, you are correct. Yes, pop-up. They have the pop-up stores for when bands come in town. It's like, oh, Metallica's here. We can go to a store and buy overpriced T-shirts made in Malaysia because they have a pop-up store. Yes, they literally have these shitty facilities. The reason that Florida is so unbelievably strict in licensing physicians is because of this.
Holy crap. Like, I'm surprised they didn't they must have some ombudsman, headhunter, what are those secret shoppers at Walmart that they couldn't find this guy and shut him down. You know what I mean? You'd think somebody would say, there's this clinic.
No, this is
They'd have tabs on all this stuff.
No, this is infinity whack-a-mole. Like, how are you going to find it unless somebody squeals, right? Like, so let's say,
I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that keeps track of all these businesses. Like, there's listings on, there's no yellow pages, but you know what I mean? Like Google search engines, you can find all this stuff.
No, this is like drug dealing.
Really?
This is 100% like drug dealing.
Huh.
So it's Little Havana, right? So it's a Cuban exiles or people from South America or whatever. And it's like, do you want a boob job cheap? I know a guy.
Back alley boob job.
No, it's a back alley boob job. That's exactly what's happened. And sadly for this woman, she lost her entire nipple. She moved to Indiana to Indianapolis. To Indianapolis.
Good funny joke.
Yes.
Dad joke. That's lucky. That's all she lost.
Well, no, she could have died.
I know.
No, she could have died because.
So, okay. Tell us what happened.
I
want to know. I want to know more of the story. So what? She went to get an augmentation or a reduction, or what was she getting then? How on earth? Okay, did this guy go to medical school? Did he do a residency? Did he have at least a semi clue instead of watching what are those plastic surgery shows on TV, figuring out how to do it? Did he have any? Was he a OR nurse? Did he have any skills? I'm curious.
Okay, so I'll read you the article. Manuel Lorenzo was listed on the American Society of Plastic Surgeons website as Manuel Lorenzo, MD, a plastic surgeon.
He's even listed.
Who listed practice is an apartment in Doral.
Doral, like Quebec?
No, Doral. That's where my buddy lives. In Doral.
I'm like, what?
No, that's where the airport for Montreal is. He was a Venezuelan certified plastic surgeon in aesthetics, face, breast, and body sculpture.
All right.
He's 58. Is not in Florida's medical license database. He appeared in court Friday and required a Spanish interpreter as he faced a charge of practicing healthcare without a license causing injury.
So he has been trained in Venezuela.
So he is trained as a surgeon. He's not licensed in the United States, or more specifically in the state of Florida.
Who knows how good he was, but he had a bad outcome. Without a license.
But that's the point.
No, yeah, I get it.
Right?
Okay.
Like, that's the point. Like, this guy could have been...
He could have been good.
He could have been amazing, and he had a shitty outcome because eventually you're going to do enough, breast, whatever, augs, you're going to have a bad outcome. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to bleed or clot or whatever.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, that's medicine. Medicine means, especially when you're a proceduralist, you do 100,000 procedures. You do, I don't know. What does a surgeon do in their career? Probably, 20,000. If you're a general surgeon and you're really busy, what do you do? Like 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 gallbladders? You're telling me out of those, you're not going to have some weird complication from, anesthesia, or you clamped something, or your sponge count's incorrect and you left a sponge in a patient. I mean, shit happens, right? So the problem is this gets elevated to a crime because it's unlicensed and he speaks zero English.
Not cool. So just say what happened to the woman? Did she get an infection? How did she lose her nipple? Was it?
Well, I'm getting to that. According to an arrest report, Lorenzo performed surgery on a victim at New World and Mystic Cosmetic Surgery. If you're getting surgery, probably the mysticism should be left alone for a later time. A few weeks after another Doral man and fellow Venezuelan national, Wilson Munoz Suarez, accused of practicing without a license at the very same facility in Miami's Little Havana neighborhood. Right. This is like drug dealing, right? So these guys are trained. They're not trained. They just are not licensed. And this opens an entire other can, because the super libertarian people that I have listened to, talk to, they're like licensing is bullshit. Licensing is the state restricting trade, you should be able to pick whoever you want to do whatever.
That's frightening.
And licenses are like, no, seriously, that is, if you're a strict libertarian, you would say any kind of licensing, tattoo licensing, medical licensing, haircut licensing,
Pool building,
cosmetology licensing, pool building licensing, business licensing,
dog
licensing, bicycle licensing. It's all bullshit, and it's all a cash grab.
Motorcycle building.
Yes, licensing. And I'm like, no. You this is babies in bathwater. You are literally throwing out tubs full of healthy babies because there is a place for regulation and there is a place for licensing. It's complete freaking common sense. Otherwise, you have guys from Venezuela that don't speak English cutting people's tits off.
Well,
that's bad. I would say that is bad.
Right. Very bad. And I'm just thinking,
especially after you move to Indianapolis. It's cold there in the wintertime. You don't want to live there. You live in Miami.
You just got to have some regulation so that people are protected from the people that have no clue what they're doing in that profession, whatever it may be, not just medicine. The guy that built our pool, for instance.
Well, I think he was licensed. Even the licensed sometimes are not. Our pool is all right. We're figuring all that out, but
Well, don't look up his name online with the Better Business Bureau.
Okay, here we go. Suffered the loss of her entire nipple after her breasts were infected, and he ignored her complaints and didn't tell her to go to a legitimate doctor. There's the problem.
Well, right.
No, there's the problem. He had a logical complication of surgery, which is infection, right? Like, look, if you do enough breast augmentations, you're going to get an infection. There's not even a question of that.
Right, any surgery.
Right? So, but the problem is, because he's running under the radar and he's not licensed, he's not like, okay, here's your prescription for antibiotics, which now he can't write because he's not licensed, right?
Cannot.
So the libertarians would say, if he had no license, but he was able to practice medicine based on his credentials, she would not have lost her nipple.
Well, I'm thinking maybe she had gone into an ER urgent care. I don't know. I'm not going to blame her because I don't know how much responsibility she took as well. Do you know what I mean? It's a bad thing.
Okay, this is even better.
However, I'm just going to interrupt and say my girlfriend and I were having, if she's going to listen to this, she'll laugh her ass off because we were having a conversation this weekend while you were gone. And we were in our bathing suits floating in the pool talking about how much of a pain in the ass nipples are. And it would be just nice to have them gone and maybe tattoo them onto your body because people in their 50s really just don't want their nips sticking out, even though apparently, according to our young daughter, it's the trend again. So I'm thinking I'd be happy to get rid of my nipples so they're just not out there to the world.
To quote Dr. Evil, I thought, no!
I'm thinking, maybe not such a bad thing to not have nipples anymore.
Wow, you opened that can.
I went there. You opened it. I went there. I'm thinking there's a lot of us women that
I just
don't
want
really want
freaking sharks with freaking laser beams.
Just don't
Scott.
Because we got to cover these. We got to cover these beams.
Whatever.
We all got our issues. We all want to cover up our gray hair. We all want to cover up our belly roll, muffin top. Some people just don't want their nips out there to the world. There you go.
Yeah, but apparently this woman did, and she would like a pair.
I'm not saying what she wants to do is wrong. I'm saying some of us would be happy with that.
But the allopathic medicine solution to that is we'll give you a matching pair of no nipples.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like that?
A matching pair of no nipples?
Matching pair of no nipples.
Some people pay for that, and they get them tattooed on. Yeah, so
all she needs is
hope
499 more friends, and she has the Indian nippleless 500.
Yeah. So obviously, for her, that's devastating, and thankfully, wasn't more severe than that.
Had the individual gone to this is from the article, gone to a legitimate doctor, they would have been able to save her nipple. Maybe we should start Nipple Awareness Month.
Save the nipple campaign.
Save the nipple campaign.
I'm like not in the save the nipple campaign.
No, seriously, like maybe that should be it, right? Save the. We have all this breast cancer awareness month, and then the Movember thing. You grow a mustache or whatever for prostate health. Save the nipple. Save the nipple from Dr. Lazaro.
Well, she chose Dr. Lazaro, so did she not do her due diligence is what I'm wondering.
This is the due diligence. This is the best part. The arrest report states that an unnamed co-defendant recommended Dr. Lazaro to the victim after the victim found the co-defendant's certified Instagram page.
This is bad the worst.
We're paying $15 enough month for a certified Instagram page, so people take us seriously.
Because if it's on Instagram,
it's $15. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh my gosh.
It means you have $15. It doesn't mean you know how to do breast surgery.
He's probably got more followers than we do.
Well, I'm sure now he does.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. All right, what's the next? Moving right
Okay,
along.
the next story.
Oh, are we moving from the nipples to the
Yes, this is because, of course, the show is all about tits and ass.
Oh, it is. I'm seeing the lineup, and it is.
Botched butt implant.
Oh, my gosh.
Arrested at JFK after botched implant in Astoria home. This guy did a butt implant in somebody's home in New York City.
Kitchen table implant. Oh, my gosh.
No, you cannot make this up.
So was he a plastic surgeon in a past life too?
I thought I had it, but I don't. I'll get it.
Or what? Did he work in an auto body shop and put like cushions in seats? You don't laugh at my joke. Cushions in seats. Get it? Didn't you get it? No,
yes.
You didn't.
No. He was an upholsterer. No, I'm a man. I think of one thing at a time, and usually, you know what it is. Okay. This is actually a very sad story. This is bad. I don't want to make too light of it. A 31-year-old New York City woman has died after an unlicensed surgeon botched a procedure to remove her butt implants, authorities said. The victim, a 31-year-old woman from Queens, went into cardiac arrest and was declared brain dead last month after a man posing as a plastic surgeon attempted to remove the implants. Why would you remove your butt implants? But that's another story. Philippe Hoyos Foranda allegedly performed the operation without a license to do so, and while not in a medical facility, on March 28th of 2025, a criminal complaint from the Queens District Attorney says the victim he did it in his house.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, do you know what killed her? Lidocaine toxicity.
Yeah, seen some of that.
We have talked about that before. He injected so much local anesthetic because he did it in his house without an anesthesiologist that he killed her with lidocaine toxicity, which is like that's a really easy way to die quickly.
There's a calculation you need to do to figure out based on kilograms or body weight.
Look, if you have a gigantic
over time.
Brazilian booty butt implant, and you're going to try to
you're
do
not
surgery
given local
on taking
anesthetic
that out,
for that.
you're going to die of lidocaine toxicity. That's kind of like lidocaine toxicity 101.
That's a lot of lidocaine.
That's a lot of lidocaine.
I mean, I got nervous doing some really large, like chainsaw lacerations
Absolutely.
under local. I'm going to be like, I'd do a little bit at a time on this 14, 16-inch thing because I'm like, I want to let this wear off till I check more because that's a lot. And you better be keeping track of your milliliters that you're using and doing
the standard of care. No, but the standard of care has changed. The standard of care now, they're in the urgent cares I work in, again, high regard for their pharmacy department.
Mm-hmm.
There is no 2% lidocaine in any facility. You don't need it.
No.
First of all, you don't need it. Second of all, the 1% does the job just as well. And you're cutting the toxicity risk by half.
Yes.
So you essentially take away can I sew up this guy's massive, face laceration
still got it
with local anesthetic or not, right?
The face, yeah, but like, I remember we did some of those crazy stuff in the ER, like cuts, chainsaw, axe things, like super long. I mean, most of the time it's gonna wear off before you get to it, so you can only do a little bit of time. But yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, that can happen. But if you're in someone's apartment in Queens getting your plastic surgery, there's the first sign that maybe something's not right.
Oh, I went to his house. Yeah, no, that's bad.
That's sad.
No, that's a very sad case. That's
happening like today. Like that was what, 2025, right?
That happened 2 months ago.
How in the heck? I guess.
Well, but again, look at the global problem.
Look at the people we're letting in the country illegally.
Well, there's that. There's that, but there's also
setting up shop.
There's also, when you set the bar, look, like what should a boob job cost? What should an ass job cost? What should a tummy tuck cost? The answer is it should be, I'll be right back.
Wow, there's a knock at the door, and it could be important. And Tim's going to go answer it and interrupt the show because, you know why? Because it's Mother's Day weekend. And things get delivered on Mother's Day weekend. And we're actually out for a walk earlier today and saw a vehicle parked in front of the house and then a person there. And I was like, someone trying to break in? No, it was the flower lady who was calling Tim waiting. And so when there's a knock on the door on Mother's Day weekend, you answer.
You're getting chocolates.
And here we go.
There you go.
You don't want to leave. So there was a package this morning of some limp flowers because I don't think they refrigerated them in the car while they were delivering all the numerous flowers in Florida. And so I had to revive them under cold water and put them in the refrigerator.
Those look really good.
These, however, are looking really tasty. And if they had sat outside our front door where the sun is shining currently, they would have lasted all of 10 minutes before...
10 seconds.
It was a kaleidoscope of color. And now you will all get to watch me eat some of these lovely pave chocolatier. Thank you, dear progeny.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. And I get it. There's always going to be scammers and, whatever, right? But we've screwed with the market in healthcare so much that we've made things so artificially expensive that people will actually go to somebody's house in Queens to get their ass implants taken out, right? Because
I don't think they've jacked the price up.
No.
Plastic surgery.
Yeah, 100% they have. 100% they have. It's still market driven, but it's not a free market. It's a bullshit market because if you have a surgery center, you have all these regulatory costs that jack the price to the moon. So the issue, as we said before, is not that you don't need regulation. You don't want a completely unregulated medical market. At least I don't. But at the same time, you don't want one that is so completely overregulated that like the bar to entry to get an ass implant is so expensive that people will actually go to somebody's house,
I'm listening.
I mean, what am I going to do when I need an ass implant? I mean, we're fairly well off. I don't want to pay that kind of cost.
I think you're just going to eat some more Doritos.
And do Brazilian and get the barbell. What's that thing? The new one,
with the Suzanne Summers.
No, there's that thing that you can. It's like a belt where you can attach weights to it.
I'm thinking you could have just come to the gym with me today because it was glute day.
It was glute day.
And you know what? Now it's chocolate day, and
gotta like glute day.
I cannot resist chocolates delivered to me.
All right, we got a couple more stories
on the air. I'm eating.
Okay, this one is really crazy. It's not the craziest story this week, but it's pretty close. Here we go. The world's first sperm race was oddly entertaining. All right. So let's get to the article.
Sperm
racing. Los Angeles, California. Of course you knew what happened in Los Angeles, California. Is sperm racing the next big thing? Well, it might not become an Olympic sport. Yes, it won't become an Olympic sport because men identifying as women couldn't do it, or they could do it, and then it would blow up, right? It's certainly creating quite a buzz.
What sperm racing is.
The so-called world's first sperm race was held in downtown Los Angeles Friday, so it's a week or two ago. Well, it started with this guy, Eric Zhu, with the help of a wealthy investor. The 17-year-old student and entrepreneur from the Bay Area launched the competition to raise awareness of men's health and male fertility because it's going through the floor. Why is it going through the floor? I don't know. Maybe COVID vaccines and jerking off to porn in your mom's basement, but I didn't say that. The general public doesn't talk about it because it's too taboo. No, they don't talk about it because it's weird. He told ABC Los Angeles affiliate KABC, it's always been associated with adult entertainment or something that's degenerate. What we want to do is make it more like a sport, a different type of entertainment, but more like optimizing biomarkers. And that's not weird. So how does the race work?
Like a Dave Asprey thing.
Yeah, this is completely mental.
Oh my gosh.
Friday's contenders, who were handpicked out of a dozen young men, were given money each week to train their mind, bodies, and diets. One race included a young man from USC going against a UCLA student. The group is what is called Sperm Racing Professional Sperm Analysis Kit, which measures concentration, motility, progressive motility, motile sperm concentration, and progressive motile sperm.
So they're basically studying this under a microscope and seeing whose seed travels the fastest, swims.
Yes.
The fastest.
And if it was me, I'd have a shirt that said, "The seed of speed."
Perfect. Do they
seed
cross a blue ribbon finish line?
Speed. Well, and then what they did is they built a microscopic racetrack that mimics the reproductive system, which includes chemical signals, fluid dynamics, and synchronized starts. And then they had microscopes on this and blew it up on giant screens.
This is excellent.
And you legitimately watch the sperms race like you would watch the Kentucky Derby.
I'm thinking they should do this on New Year's Day instead of the
hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, that's
which is
disgusting.
Okay, this is disgusting.
That I won't watch.
But the hot dog eating contest is immensely more disgusting
they
than
put
this.
This right after the dog show. Is that Thanksgiving?
That's Thanksgiving. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I want this sperm race, Austin.
You know,
do I make you feel horny, baby?
When I was a toddler, I was in the diaper derby race, and I won. I was the queen of the diaper derby.
That comes after the sperm race, though, the diaper derby.
It did, yeah.
It does.
I was the queen of the crawlers. That was the title.
The sperm that crosses the finish line first, which is verified by advanced imaging, wins the race.
And what wins an egg is the prize? Wow. That's pretty innovative. I like that. That's kind of funny. I mean, I think it's a cool thing to have it if you work in a microbiology lab or so. That's cute. I love it. That's funny.
Okay.
Let's say.
Oh, I had one on here and I deleted the wrong story. If we're going to get to the last story, I will get it back up.
All right. Well, yes. While you're getting up the last story, I'm going to talk about my cocktail of the day. And I'm drinking a nice.
What's your mix?
It's not a
what's your mix?
Moscow Mule. It's more like a vodka lemonade, the little soda. It's
Subrovka.
This amazing bison grass flavored vodka. Zubrovka is the name of it, and there's a piece of grass in here. You can kind of
that came out of the bison's ass because it had a failed butt implant. Bison are very sensitive about their hindquarters, you know. They want them enhanced to a level of attractiveness to other bison.
Bison grass is a real thing from the heart of the, I can't pronounce it, forest from Zubrovka. This unique flavor is a soft, smooth, and aromatic. It is actually really yummy. And this is called bison grass. And they put a little piece of grass in it. You can kind of see that in there. And when you
Yep.
pour it, it does pop out of the bottle. It looks like spaghetti. And I'm going to say, to go with that, I'm going to say that these are actually amazing. They are from Sarasota, this chocolate company. So it is local. And it's called Pave Chocolatier. It's in Sarasota, Florida. It's a nice combo. And there's real ingredients in here. It's all, sugar, cocoa, and then the coconut, cherry, blueberry, and basically vanilla. So I love it. These are great. A local company.
Yeah, I think when I look at the stories that we did today, I'm kind of disturbed myself. It was nipples, butts, sperm race, and a woman that identifies as a cat. I think there's a theme. You can tie them all together if you'd like. I shall not.
Well,
all right.
I don't know.
Tell your story, because yours ties into this highly sexualized theme as well.
So apparently, when my bestie was visiting last week while you were gone, she asked me if I knew about the new reality TV show on TLC. And, I'm like, no, I do not, because I don't watch TLC at all. But friends from Oregon, you're in the spotlight. You're famous because there is a reality TV show from Oregon, right from the town where we worked. You
can say the town.
And lived, from Lebanon, Oregon, out in the country, closer to Lacombe, I believe these people live. It's called Poly Family, and you must look it up. There's 2 episodes out now. We watched the first one, and I must say, the whole time while we were watching it, my jaw was like this.
So explain what a
okay.
So it's polyamorous, right?
So the poly family is, as they define themselves, we are a quad couple that is monogamous and mutually exclusive. A closed quad monogamous polyfamily. So what that means is there's 2 couples. Both of them are married, husband and wives.
What it means is I'm going to pound my head with this microphone.
One couple moved down from Portland, of course. And they all live together in one happy home, share children, and share spouses, meaning, according to the show, the women, each have a bedroom. The men, however, do not, because every other night they switch beds back and forth. So they take their toothbrushes and their pillows and they sleep in the other bed. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, whatever, you're in one bed, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, then switch the opposite. Now, that would mean that each couple has a husband and wife, and then each couple has a boyfriend and girlfriend, as they call it. Now, the plot thickens because there were 2 children by one couple initially, who now say they have 2 moms and dads. Along the way, they've birthed 2 more toddlers, and they do not know who's the father of either toddler, because that's the way they want it. And there's another one on the way, baby number 5, and they don't know who the dad is. And it puts the Mormon lifestyle in totally.
I am thinking of jokes that I cannot tell.
Totally. That's like at the tame. I don't know. That's like tame compared to this. This is like, I was like, what? And anyway, so if you're fascinated by this, you can check it out on TLC, the Poly Family.
Well, what it is voyeurism. I mean, that's like the whole titillation of this kind of weird, pseudo fantasy bullshit. Like, that's how I see it.
Correct.
Like you can make it whatever you want, or I get to love whoever I want, or, at least these people, there's only 4 of them.
Oh no, there's foreshadowing.
Oh,
if you watch
they're
the
going to
first
bring
episode,
in
I would love for you to watch the first episode.
They're going to bring in another couple.
They hinted that this one lady was wanting to bring in an outsider.
Okay.
A fifth person.
Yeah, but then you have 5. Then it's just weirdo, freaky sex shit. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like you can call it a thing. It's not a thing. It's weird. It's weirdo, freaky sex shit, right?
For TV.
And I'm not saying that this isn't.
And you know what the saddest part is like we watch all this, but I'm thinking those poor children.
Right. Of course.
They're the ones that are going to be. I mean, the parents I think are already messed up. So these kids who are happily living their best lives as 5 and 7-year-olds or 6. Actually, they're probably more like 8 and 10. And then mom and dad decide to do something really weird and move in together with this other couple. And now I have another mom and dad that I got to call mom and dad, and they're bossing me around and making all the rules.
But it's interesting because it's kind of a
so sick.
So the whole point of perversion is it's something good that gets twisted, right? And so you think of like a monogamous family, and then you think of an extended family, right? So for, as you know, until very recent times, you did not live like husband, wife, kids. That's it.
Look at the Bible.
Right. You would have extended family. So you would have grandparents.
Oh, I was talking about all the wives in the Bible.
Oh, yeah, that's different. And that was probably not prescribed by God. It was probably a deviance, actually, when you look at that. But yes, I get it. Like Solomon had so many wives and concubines that it would take him over 2 years to sleep with each person one at a time, one day. He had 1,000. So that's 3 years almost of different partner every single day. I do not think that was the plan that God had.
When he said to Adam and Eve, man should not be alone.
Yes. Times 1,000. I'm going to 1,000x that shit.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think that was really the plan, but the Bible is honest enough to go, he had like 400 wives and 600 concubines or whatever it was. And then anyway. I think what's the difference, right? Like, so if you're a wife versus a concubine, so a concubine, I would assume, is more like a slave or like a woman servant. I need to look that up.
When did that all start changing? What decade? Not decade, I should say. What century?
Like biblically?
In history.
Well, if you're Mormons, it changed in like 1875.
Well, but if you look back, I mean, how many countries still ascribe to having multiple wives?
Lots.
Yeah.
Lots. And it kind of, like, economically, it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, I'd like to have some other wives here to take care of some of the stuff I have to do around the house, please.
Like
can you get some?
Me.
Yeah, like you can have a whole harem.
Take care of me.
That's what I'm talking about. You need a whole harem.
I have needs.
And I need helpers.
Yes.
Seriously, I get it. One woman can't do it all, man.
Well, not if you're married to somebody with as expansive a personality and needs as me. I guess that could be a challenge, but challenge accepted. So, no, it is incredibly bizarre. Like the whole multiple wife thing. Like it's never multiple husband. Like, okay, here's what you have to look at from a sexual or gender difference, right? It's like it's never multiple husbands, like ever. It's not like we're not bees, right? It's not okay. We have a queen bee that has 10,000 drones that service her and die and make honey. Nope, that's not ever how it's been in humanity.
That's because they'd say that back in the caveman ancestor times.
Bullshit. In caveman times,
needed to spread their seed around in order to keep the population alive.
Well, and that may be, I guess from an evolutionary perspective. I
hate that when people say that.
That may be true.
Yes.
It's just guys want to bang whatever they see. Like, honestly, let's not be too philosophical about this. And the point is, in a committed relationship and marriage, you forego some carnal or animalistic desires to commit yourself to a single person to build a partnership and a family.
Hey,
that's what makes it so awesome.
If geese can do it, humans can do
right.
it.
But that's what makes it so awesome, is that you have to give. I mean, Jordan Peterson talks about this all the time. You know, you got to give something up. You're giving something up. You're giving away the fact that you want to just do whatever you want and bang whoever you want, you know, bucko, but you got to do it because it's more valuable. The discipline is what makes it worth the while, or else you don't have a society, and then you're fucked because, well, he wouldn't say that, because you don't have a society. And then, you know, you go back in Canada and you elect Mark Carney, and then you're fucking like totally boned. Like up the ass boned. And not that I've ever experienced that, but you know.
That's a pretty good interpretation.
Yeah. That's my Jordan Peterson.
Maybe he'll come on the show now.
That's my hybrid Jordan Peterson swearing Joe Rogan version. Yeah. But yeah, like seriously, like he's correct. Like it's a sacrifice, but it's worth it because that's the whole point.
Well, apparently you can have your cake and frosting too in
but
the
you
poly
can't.
family.
But that's the whole that's the entire problem with what screws people's lives up is they legitimately think that they can have their cake and eat it too. They legitimately think they can blur the lines and do like not live by principles bigger than themselves. That's exactly what it comes down to. I can live by principles that I make up that are not bigger than me. And then, you know.
Correct.
All right, last story.
I'm trying to see some of the comments.
I kind of almost feel bad for my swearing Jordan Peterson,
the comments?
but in a way I don't. I think you have to get on another. I think you got to get on another platform.
Just hit close.
Let's see what happens when we do that. Then we're screwed.
All right, we can't see the comments. Anyway, what you got for us next?
This is the last one. Mercifully. High school teacher reportedly identifies as cat, licks hands, hisses at students. I have a one-word answer for that is two-word answer. I will quote our president, which is, "You're fired."
Yeah, but this is not even in our country.
I know. It's in Australia, which makes it like even.
Now, we know it's happening in our country because there's a lot of freaking weirdos posting their Instagram pages with their teachers.
Okay, but listen to how this article's read.
Lord,
how it's written. Parents have expressed their concern at a Queensland high school teacher who has reportedly been referring to themselves as a cat. Allegedly. I love that.
Allegedly.
Hissing at students and licking the back of their hands during class. The teacher, who works at Marsden State High School in Logan City, south of Brisbane, has reportedly asked students to call her Miss Purr.
At least it's
Multiple
Miss
parents
Puss.
have claimed on social media. Photos and short videos first published by the Courier Mail show the teacher wearing a cat ear headband and lanyard with the word purr on it while in front of the classroom. She forces the children to call her Miss Purr, and cat screeches and growls when they don't listen. You're fired.
Who hired this
Are you kidding me? Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Who hired this? And then B, where are the parents?
Well, they're there, but here's the problem.
Why they're not screaming about this?
No. Here's the problem.
I wish I could read the comments.
You know, but here is the problem. The problem is they've been scared shitless of ever complaining because then they're a transphobe or a racist or whatever, and it's like no. The answer to this is the frickin' teacher is mentally ill. I would go Dr. Evil. The teacher is freaking mentally ill.
Yeah.
I want sharks with laser beams, and the teacher thinks she's a cat. Fire the teacher now, or throw her into the shark pit with the laser beams. Like, it's so completely insane. But the problem is this. It's not her. It's that people don't freak the F out when they see this. They should be, look, if you're a man, like a man with actual testicles, you should be running into that schoolroom, grabbing her by the back of her shirt and dragging her away from your children and your friends' children. That would be the manly thing to do. Mm-hmm. That's what you should do. But no, we're so feminized and we're so scared shitless of being a shit disturber. No, be a shit. Like, do you know how many people agree with you? If you did that, if you were the guy that went into the classroom, kicked the door down and said, "You're done," you would have 100 million followers on social media, and you could sell whatever shit you wanted because everyone would think you're a hero. But no one wants to think about that. It's the downside. I will be a transphobe. Who cares? I will be what are you? She's not trans. She's a cat. What are you? A feline phobe? A kitty phobe? Dare I say a P-word phobe? I mean, it's complete and total insanity. But it only exists because we let it. Exactly. It's not the politician's problem. It's not the crazy teacher's problem. It's our problem.
No, I agree.
The politicians answer to us. And when you don't make them feel the heat, don't let some other asshole do for you what you should do for yourself.
But I don't know how it works down there.
It doesn't matter how it's fucking Australia. It's Foster's beer. It's shark attacks. It's these guys. It's a planet. It's an entire country that was made up of convicts that no one wanted. Yet they're such pussies, they can't grab the pussy teacher by the neck and drag her away from their children. What has happened to you, Australia? You used to be criminals. You used to not give a shit what the government said. Now you're like, well, all right, mate. Like, I don't know, mate.
It's true.
I guess I'll just take the COVID jab and die. Like, it's just, like, what the hell? Seriously, not up. Not up.
Yeah, I would be pissed. Anyway.
No, seriously, like, I read a great article, a fantastic article by Mark McDonald, the dissident MD, this morning. And he's talking about the feminization of America and how, like, ancient cultures used to have, the ancient North American Indian cultures had the longhouse, right? And the longhouse was, largely run by women, and they would, try to figure out all their problems and do all this stuff. And he's like, no, you need men. You need men to stand up and do violence against shit that's going to kill you. You need men to stand up and say no to things that destroy your society. And you need women to temporize men's assholery-ness so that they don't burn the whole freaking world down.
That's why I'm on this show.
Exactly. But that's exactly that's the point. That's the point. Like that's exactly it. It's like we have feminized the entire effing world so much that you get, like, how can that exist as a thing? Like, the next story, it should be that story comes out, a kid comes home and tells their parent, and the next story is teacher dragged out of school by her hair.
By the tail.
Or by her cat tail. Or by her cat ears.
By the tail.
Like, seriously.
Get a tiger,
right?
by the
It's
tail.
the same thing. It's the same thing with these beautiful young women getting destroyed in track and field by boys that say that they're men.
Yes.
Or say that they're women.
And I love it. Look at all these young female athletes.
But the story
standing up.
The story is not Riley Gaines. As much as I respect Riley Gaines is a freaking badass. She's unbelievable. She is not the story. The story is, where are the fucking men that should have gone into that pool and said, I'm going to drain this fucking pool till there's no water in it because you're not going to do this to my daughter because I love her and I respect her and I respect women's in sports. That's what I care about. I will get a backhoe and I will demolish the pool till you can never put water in it until you make this problem go away. Where's that guy? The problem is not, look, we are looking.
We don't let guys speak up at all because, it all started with the whole, I'm going to go there, abortion thing where men don't have a right to say anything about a woman's body and men don't have a right to say anything about what's happening in women's sports and men don't have a right to say anything about anything.
You know what? You just got to say it. You just got to be the guy. Like that. Like, I'm sorry, that's the case. Like the only reason Riley Gaines is a badass. And again, total props to her. The courage, the fortitude, any accolade she gets, she 100% deserves. I'm not taking anything away from her. The only reason she's a badass is because men are so freaking weak that they can't do what men should do. Look, if you were a father of a young woman who got her ass kicked in a 100-meter race by a boy, you should be going to the father of that boy and having a very serious man-to-man conversation with him and saying, okay, you piece of you know what, how did you let this happen? Because you have raised a freak. And I feel very bad for your child that they're that confused. I honest to God, pray every night that they are less confused. I cannot comprehend hating myself so much that I would want to cut my genitals off. That said, you should have never let him race against my daughter.
Well, your answer is in all the details of look at the fatherless society we have. Where are all the fathers? And I blame it on the women. I blame it on the women too, because the women want,
But this goes back.
They want to raise children without men. No, it's the whole society's messed up.
No, but it's totally.
I blame both. I blame both sides.
No, but if you go back, you go all the way back to Adam and Eve. Whether you believe it actually happened, which we do, or you believe it's a metaphor for something else, it is the most elegant metaphor for male-female relations. And Dr. Larry Crabb, a Christian counselor, wrote an entire book on this, and it's called The Silence of Adam. And the whole concept is when Eve took the apple and was tempted by the serpent and ate it and sinned, where was Adam? Well, he was at work, like building a skyscraper. No, he was standing next to her with his dick in his hand, saying nothing because he was a weak man. And that's the entire theme of the fall of humanity. The entire theme of the fall of humanity is women taking authority over men and men saying jack shit and giving that authority away. Not that women don't have authority. Not that women are not equal. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the roles got effed up. The solution to the fall of man, if Adam was acting as a real man, was to knock the apple out of her hands. Not to punish her, not to abuse her, to save her from touching the red hot stove. But that's not what happens. And then we need Riley Gaines to save us.
Well, someone's telling me to eat another chocolate.
I think they are.
I'm going to knock it out of my hands.
Well, we blew this one up for almost an hour, but sorry. I don't know if this is going to get us more or less listeners, but I don't really give a shit because I think it needs to be said. I mean, like the reality is,
yes,
it is. It's like, we look at some of these female heroes and Joan of Arc was 19 years old when she was burned at the stake.
Dang.
Why? I think she was probably surrounded by weak men.
Mm.
I mean, weak men destroy the world. Like they destroy the world. And maybe I'm so passionate because I see myself as weak. Maybe there's that too. I don't know, but man, I tell you, it's a sad. It doesn't mean that you do monster truck masculinity. That's not the answer. The answer is just standing up and being firm and sticking to convictions and principles that are bigger than you. That's what saves the world, is saying yes to what is difficult and saying no to what is wrong. And it's just, we lose our focus and just get confused. I mean, why is pornography so awful? Because it cheapens one of the most sacred event. It cheapens the sacred event that makes people. And we commoditize the act that makes humanity. And we cheapen it to a point where women are objects and men are doofuses in their parents' basement when they're 45 years old. Like, that is awful.
Wow, this got heavy.
I don't know. That's what happens when I go kiteboarding for 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, you got a lot on your mind.
I got a lot on my mind.
And I just let you go.
Yeah, well, you were good because I was. All right.
No, it's great. Well, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, go be a mother and celebrate your moms, celebrate your wives.
100%.
Even if they're dog and cat moms, they deserve a little treat.
Yes.
So I think on Mother's Day, while you're working. Although
to take over the world.
I am not your mother, but technically I'm your mother.
Yeah, well, close enough.
I don't know. I'm going to treat myself. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there this week, and celebrate that. And just don't get a butt implant removed in an apartment.
Look, at least don't get it done in a guy's house in Queens.
Exactly.
That would be.
There's our advice.
There's the advice. Surgery center, license hanging on the wall.
Cheers to everybody, and we will see you all next time.